Am I overreacting to my girlfriend going to her ex's birthday party without telling me? Trigger warnings. Possible gaslighting, minimizing. Hey Reddit. I'm 29 male and I've been dating my girlfriend, Lena, 27 female, for about 10 months. Things have been great overall. She's funny, smart, independent, and we've talked about maybe moving in together next year. No major issues until this weekend. So here's what happened. On Saturday, Lena told me she was going out with a few friends from college. Cool. No problem, I had plans to watch the game with my brother anyway. But the next day, I saw a photo on one of her friends' Instagram stories. The caption said, "Happy birthday, Jason." I recognized Jason. He's her ex. The one she dated for about 3 years and broke up with about a year before we met. They were pretty serious from what I've gathered. I never made a big deal about it because she told me they're on decent terms but not really close. So naturally, I asked her later that night, "Hey, were you at Jason's birthday thing?" She looked a little surprised and said yeah, but quickly followed up with, "It wasn't a big deal, it was a group thing, and I didn't think it mattered." I didn't raise my voice or accuse her of anything, I just said I wished she'd mentioned it beforehand. She got kind of defensive and said I was making something out of nothing, and that it's not like she was hiding it. But she kind of did hide it. I mean, I don't want to be controlling, and I know people stay friends with their exes, but the fact that she didn't even mention she was going to his birthday rubs me the wrong way. It just feels off. I'm not accusing her of cheating or anything, but I can't shake the feeling that she intentionally kept it vague so I wouldn't ask questions. She said she didn't think I'd care, but the whole thing just makes me feel kind of sidelined. So am I overreacting? Comments. Commenter 1. Was Lena, her friends and Jason all part of the same friend group? Because it's weird how her friends are attending their friend's ex-BF's birthday party if they aren't all in the same friend group. Not saying that she's cheating on you. But I do understand why you are uncomfortable about the whole situation. Especially as she got all defensive instead of reassuring you. OOP, they were part of the same friend group in college. But I honestly didn't know that they were still close. Let alone close enough to go to a birthday. Commenter 2, I wouldn't be bothered if she was upfront. Generally, it's reasonable to ask permission of your partner, if that's okay with your relationship dynamic, to hang out with exes. Some people have great relationships with exes that don't have to be romantic, but it can be weird for their partners if they don't talk about it like a responsible partner would. And if after asking it isn't cool, great. Now two people know they have different ideas of how relationships work, and that's helpful to know. If it isn't cool, great, y'all are compatible. It's still something someone should ask, not hide, and that's what I'm emphasizing here. Not asking or not even mentioning it makes something that is otherwise not suspicious, very suspicious. Orange reddish flag. I don't know her well enough to outright call it a red flag, she could just be stupid. Sorry for bluntness. OOP. The thing is I didn't know they were still in contact. This is how I found out they in fact still are. Commenter 3. Do they have kids together? If not, no reason to interact with an ex, ghost her and move on. OOP. They don't have kids together. Commenter 4. There's no point in asking her this question now, but given what you know about your GF, would she be cool if the shoe was on the other foot? If you ask her now, OFC, she'll say she'd be totally fine with it, but that's gaslighting 100%. OOP. I know for a fact she definitely wouldn't be okay with it was it the other way around. Update 1. Same day, 8 hours later. Thanks again to everyone who responded. I didn't expect the post to blow up the way it did, and honestly, I've spent the last few hours sitting with it all. A few comments really stuck with me, especially the ones that pointed out it's not necessarily about where she went, but how she handled it. I ended up bringing it up when she came over this evening. Nothing dramatic. I just said I'd been thinking about it and that it bothered me, not even the party itself, but the fact that she didn't mention it. She didn't seem surprised that I brought it up. There was a bit of an eye roll at first, but she didn't push back much. Mostly quiet. The energy in the room shifted right away. She said something vague about not wanting it to be a thing. Not much of an apology, more like trying to smooth it over and move on quickly. And maybe that's what I'm doing too, in my own way. Afterward, we kind of just moved around each other for the rest of the evening. She left very quickly after that. And right now I'm reading comments on my original post. I'm not sure where I land on all of this. Nothing exploded. But it also didn't feel resolved. She didn't seem interested in understanding why it bothered me, just in making sure it didn't mess with the vibe. It's not a breakup level thing. Not yet. But it does feel like something shifted in our relationship. That's all for now. Just figured I'd follow up. Thanks again. Comments. Commenter 1. Ick, how that's not breakup worthy. She didn't tell you because she didn't want it to be a thing means that she knew it was going to be an issue for you. That it might cross a boundary, so she didn't give you a heads up. It was 1000% thought out, methodical, intentional. She is gaslighting and manipulating you. She's using what you said when confronting her to try to justify why she hid it. See, this is why I couldn't tell you, type of shit. She sees nothing wrong with this, which is why you don't feel it's resolved, because it isn't resolved. She wanted to go, didn't care that you wouldn't be okay with it, and now wants to move on with no consequences. She will also just hide it better next time if you do let it go. She got away with it if that's the case after all. She's proven she only cares about herself. She doesn't care about your feelings because she clearly considered you would be upset and did it anyway. If the roles were reversed, she would likely break up with you. Yet she will repeat in the future again to please herself. She has shown you exactly who she is. This type of lesson is only learned when you face consequences. It sounds like there have been and likely will be zero, because you sound ready to stay. Prepare yourself for the repeat behavior and further gaslighting. Commenter 2. Nope, her unwillingness to address this and acknowledge what she did wrong tells you everything you need to know. If she respected you, she would want to know why it upset you and would try to make it right. When she eye rolls you over her screw-up. Time to move on, OP. I wouldn't even give her the respect of doing it in person. Just text her and end it. Commenter 3. Just like how her going wasn't the issue, it was her hiding it. The issue now is her reaction. A normal and healthy reaction to BF over this would be along the lines of "I'm so sorry. I should have told you." Instead, she's turning it around on you and admitting she hid it because she thought your reaction would be poor. This leads you to wonder if she has done that before, hiding things she knows would bother you. It all leads to trust and communication. There is a level of trust she broke in this situation. Can you fully trust her anymore? Or will you always doubt she is giving you full truth? With communication, it sounds like you have two versions of what you believe is healthy communication, not just in giving information, but also in resolving conflict. That is a breakup-worthy thing if both of your values on this conflict to the point you can't compromise. Only you can decide where you fall in this and whether you want to keep trying in this relationship. If she is willing to put work into fixing your relationship and you can work through the trust/communication issues, there is no harm in continuing in the relationship. On the flip side, if she isn't willing to fix this, or if you can't get past the broken trust and/or communicate well together, you are well on your rights to walk away knowing that you just have different values. You can like a person, even love them, but the relationship doesn't have long-term potential if your values conflict so much that yours, or hers, need to be compromised to be together. Final update. 10 days later. Figured I'd give one last update, even though things didn't really go the way I hoped. It's been about 10 days since I posted. Things between me and Lena never really got back to normal after that night. We had a few awkward conversations in the days after, nothing explosive, but I could tell there was tension. She kept saying I was overthinking it, that it wasn't that deep, but the way she avoided the topic or brushed it off just made me feel worse. The whole situation stuck with me more than I expected. It wasn't even about the party itself anymore, it was more how she handled it. It became pretty clear we look at communication in relationships really differently. I felt like I couldn't fully trust her to be upfront, and once that feeling crept in, it was hard to shake. We ended up having a more serious talk this past weekend. She admitted she didn't tell me about the party because she knew how I'd react, which kind of confirmed the whole point for me. I don't want to be with someone who feels like they need to hide things to keep the peace. We didn't fight. It was more of a mutual, quiet decision to end things. Just felt like we were on different pages, and forcing it wasn't going to help either of us. It sucks, obviously. I didn't want it to go this way. But in hindsight, I'm glad I trusted my gut. That uneasy feeling never really went away, and I think I'd rather deal with the short-term hurt now than drag this out. Appreciate everyone who gave advice. Helped me see it a bit clearer. That's all. Not much more to say. Comments. Commenter 1. She admitted she didn't tell me about the party because she knew how I'd react. That's the go-to response of someone who isn't being honest in a relationship. She wouldn't have liked it if you did it to her, but instead of being honest about her plans that evening, she decided to play keep away with the information, knowing it's not a good look on her part and didn't want to be called out on it. Commenter 2. IMO. You did the right thing, because if your partner knows that you wouldn't react well to slash about something and does it anyway, it shows that they don't truly value you or the relationship. Commenter 3. Next time if this happens with another woman, try to not have so many conversations. You were just delaying the inevitable. She knew what she was doing was wrong, and there is definitely some inappropriate convos between them happening behind your back. Seems like trickle truth and not worth it.